The Ghana Medical Association has threatened to get its members to resign en masse from the public sector if government continues to ignore their demands for better working conditions. The threats come on the back of a meeting with the Minister for Employment and Labour Relations yesterday. Dr. Justice Yankson is a member of the GMA.
We sought to address the issues. One had to do with our conditions of service. Doctors have never had conditions of service since the inception of Ghana Health Service. We've been added with the ministry and government for that matter on countless occasions, in fact, for more than 10 years now. But we've gotten to a point where we said enough is enough. At our last AGM in Takoradi in November 2014, we issued a statement that come 30th June, if government, especially for those of us in the public service, government or the employer has not negotiated and signed our collective bargaining arrangement, i.e. the conditions of service, then we as workers will also call it a day. We resign en bloc and leave the health service to the ministry and its agencies to run the way they want to run it, because we think that this is a big injustice. Doctors cannot work as a group of professionals, highly trained, highly skilled in the formal sector of Ghana, where the labor laws are so clear that you need to give them conditions of service. And then as an employer, you refuse to. We think that this is something that should not be entertained anymore. So basically the meeting today spoke about that. We gave the minister and his team a reminder. They gave us their commitment to ensure that come the deadline, we will definitely have signed something. But for us, we said we've traveled this part before. We want to make sure that things are done. With the other matters, we discussed them, our pensions that have been reduced, our conditions of service, as I mentioned, conversion difference, doctors who have finished medical school, they've been inducted to practice by the Ghana Medical and Dental Council of Ghana, but are still at home in a country where the patient-doctor ratio is so high, sometimes 30,000, 1 to 30,000 plus in some areas. We feel that if the country says that there's no net freeze on employment in health and education, then we don't see why these doctors should be at home. Some have even decided that they are leaving, and I know about 2 who have already left. We think that this is not good for us as a country. We discussed it, and we've been assured that as soon as possible, all these issues will be resolved.
So what does this really mean for the country? Does it have any impact or implications for the health sector? We'll be speaking to the Labour Minister Haruna Iddrisu subsequently on the show. But moving on, the family of a 22-year-old woman at La Paz in Accra is struggling to pay her medical bills following an acid attack on her by her ex-boyfriend. Anita Otima lost her left eye in the attack. Her right hand was also damaged. Anita says she was asleep in her room during the blackout when her ex-boyfriend poured acid on her. Beatrice Edu has the rest of the story.
This is the house of Anita, the 22-year-old lady who has unfortunately been deformed because her ex-boyfriend poured acid on her on the 17th of May 2014. She's been struggling to cope, and the family as well has been struggling to even get the finances to take care of her. You can see in the background that this is a compound house, and the information we are gathering is that the family, the mother and the relatives were sleeping on the corridor when she was inside the room, and the boyfriend came in and poured the acid on her. We can find out more from her as she explains her pathetic situation to us. She's lost her left eye and half of her face is completely damaged. She's also lost flesh on her right arm, which is immobile. Leaving the compound house is difficult. People stare at her as she endures her daily trauma. She tells me how the incident happened. What happened to you? Who did?
No, my boyfriend, my ex-boyfriend. And
the acid was poured on me by my ex-boyfriend. When we broke up, he called to tell me that he had been falling ill. He told me he went to see a pastor who informed him that I was the cause of his ailments. The pastor told him that I had used him for money rituals, and so he decided to pour acid on me.
No see you into Okoyen. No kujina kwanso. No san baby. Sa oba no crassi no bishigum so inside.
She's scared she may never be able to find love due to how she looks. Do you think what has happened to you may affect your future relationships in any way? How?
Because after wine, they say crampo, what is simple na be my using.
I'm no more attractive to men, and I'm worried about the whole situation. When I look at the way I was at first, as compared to now, it really makes me sad. Children are even scared of me because of the way I look.
Her foster mother, popularly called Sewa, says the family is broke and is unable to pay her medical bills any longer.
I am now so broke that I don't even know what to do. I contacted the boys' relatives to assist in my daughter's condition, and though they came, they couldn't even give 100 cedis, and to date, we have not heard from them.
Anita's godfather, Reverend Mauli Apreku, echoes the mother's cry for her.
I want to use this platform to passionately appeal to corporate Ghana to come to our aid in order to undertake this surgery for Anita. As you all can see, in fact, she has been badly damaged. She has been badly deformed, and no amount is small. We are just appealing to you people to be so compassionate to us and help us.
She needs a surgery, and it's urgent. Beatrice Edu, Joy News, La Paz.
What a price to pay for love. But moving on to power, and a member of the Mines and Energy Committee of Parliament wants the agreement to bring in emergency power badges to help address the country's energy crisis abrogated. William Orekwedu said the agreement between Ghana and Emiri Energy of Dubai passed by Parliament was badly drafted and would not inure to the benefit of the country. Per the agreement, the country is expected to bring in 10 generators with the capacity to produce 200 megawatts of power at a cost of $600 million spread over a 5-year period.
Law that we should never have signed to, because there's nowhere ever that the SLS non-performance become an obligation on the purchaser to perform. Spoken to a very senior member in the industry, from what I'm hearing, one or two people, because there's the issues privately with them, and I do believe something's going on at the AG's department to see if they can rectify this. But I am urging, pleading, in fact, the government, the president, pleading with the president to use his good offices to actually abrogate this agreement, because it's really not the best. I mean, I think most Ghanaians are well versed with some of the details of this particular agreement. A situation whereby we are purchasing, we could purchase these machines for about $220 million. And instead of purchasing these machines, we are going for a lease agreement, BOOT agreement, that will cost us eventually in excess of $600 million.